Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush, and today we are going to be going through some really epic giant card attempts here with some of the weaker cards in Castle Crush. That's right, cards like the Skeleton, Archer, and most importantly maybe the Black Witch. And right here in this match, that is what we are going for, is the Black Witch. And a lot of these, my strategy is to try and use a deck with all of those cards in it, but I don't know which one is necessarily going to be the chosen card that I will buff, because I don't know which. They're all taken out so easily that I have to wait and see what my opponent's going to take out and which cards are going to get left. And in this situation, the Black Witch just gets left in a really nice spot, so I decided to take advantage of that. And you can see I was sort of holding these giant growths here to see which cards, I wanted to do the Skeleton here, but I realized the Skeleton wasn't going to happen, and they were just leaving the Black Witch alone. So we start going after the Black Witch here, and then get a great matchup against that Jester. And I probably didn't need to use the Blizzard there. I probably should have used the Blizzard on the other lane, so I would have had some extra delaying cards to work with. But this Black Witch is getting pretty large, and the most interesting thing about a giant Black Witch is just seeing how much damage it can actually do against other troops. And right there, again, I could have min-maxed a little bit and maybe waited longer on that gust of wind. And this Black Witch is going along here, and unfortunately, they went for both the other lanes here, and we're in trouble. And I could almost get this win, except they freeze me, and I'm forced to hold on to this arrows longer than I would have liked. I should have just let it go anyways. I was trying to get out those archers with it. Giant Black Witch, but not enough cards. I get the Gust of Wind and Giant Growth too late right there, just unfortunately. That was a huge Black Witch, though. Super duper epic. And then here, I decided to go for a Giant Archer. And pretty good matchup to start off with, because I get the Archers against a Jester, which means the Jester isn't going to take them out immediately. So that's a good matchup for trying to get a Giant Archer. And you can see right here, I'm going to go for it. And I've got an extra protection as well as a Black Witch. So in pretty good shape with the Archers. The problem is I don't have a Blizzard or Gust of Wind. And unfortunately, they get a very good stack set up against it with that Golem and Angel. So I'm trying to figure out what to do, and I can't do enough damage against the Golem to really do anything. Although I do have a Gust of Wind. So I decide to use that. And look at this Archer. I mean, this is probably my largest Archer ever, but you can see it's not doing very much attack. The Giant Skeleton, honestly, is much more effective than the Giant Archer is. Giant Archer just not particularly good at eliminating anything, and I mean, I don't know how much larger I could really get an Archer than that, considering it can't really take anything out. It's basically just a useless kind of troop sitting there, even when it's large, unfortunately. So this match, just trying to salvage something, because they're really pushing me with this. They're really pushing me with that Skull Queen right there. But I have this giant warrior that I'm working with, and it's like, can I pull this off? But maybe I can, because I've got the giant growth, and I had the gusts of wind that I needed, and I do. I managed to actually win with just a warrior. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny against a Skull Queen deck. I mean, the Skull Queen should have taken me out, like, no problems. But anyways, so here I'm trying to think what card I go for, and I'm pretty sure what I go for is the Skeleton. And it is. So I've been meaning to try and do, like, a legit largest Skeleton video. Unfortunately, I didn't have time on Friday to really do what I wanted to do. I tried Skeleton matches. I just couldn't get the right clips. But this clip right here was pretty good, because yeah, they forced through the Black Witch. But I'm working on this Skeleton. It's hard with the Jesters in there to not accidentally giant growth adjusters instead of the skeleton, but the giant skeleton actually does some actual damage, and it's working away here, and they have a stack, but it got cut off there. But I did end up winning that match, I believe, with that. And here again is another one. Someone was telling me to do giant skeleton swarm. The issue is, I mean, I can't get the whole swarm to be large, but I can get one skeleton to be large, and that is what I go for right here. And unfortunately, they throw an entire stack against me, so I decide to just Black Witch it. But what happens is they take out the Black Witch and it comes right back. So it's interesting how the Black Witch, if you play it though, actually does turn it back into small skeletons. And right here, this looks like a bad situation, but actually, because of the protection, because of how much damage these skeletons are doing, they managed to take out the spiked statue before it can take out the skeletons. So I've got one more giant growth on this skeleton, and this skeleton is really huge. And they're helping me out to delay things a little bit here. Would have liked one more giant growth, but, you know, sometimes that just isn't going to happen. And I throw it back one more time. But unfortunately, still no giant growth, and my Dryad is going to finish them off. But that was one of the larger skeletons that I've gotten thus far, and I thought that was pretty epic. I think here again I go for a giant skeleton. It's fun trolling with these kinds of cards in this game mode. I really enjoy it, actually. The problem is there's so many matches where you just get totally wrecked, and, you know, that can get to you after a while for sure. So I tried to come up with a semi-useful deck, though, because even cards like skeletons are actually pretty good in storm mode, because if the skeletons grow to a certain point, they're hard to take out. You can't take them out with arrows, Inferno, necessarily. And here again, I end up deciding to go for this warrior, I believe, because the skeletons got taken out. And, oh, the warrior, man. The warrior has so little health left. How will it survive? I don't know why I pushed it back exactly. I was like, I mean, what happens here is that, yeah, so suddenly we have warrior versus Black Knight. And it's too bad I didn't have a nature heal. I could have obviously used a Black Witch here, but I didn't want to ruin the warrior. So, unfortunately, it just wasn't quite meant to be, as it gets one hit by the Black Knight. Not surprising, because the warrior had, like, no health. Anyways, that is going to do it for this quick little video here. So, leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comments about this video and what other types of content I should create. Maybe subscribe if you're new to my channel. Also, the merch store is finally launching, I think, tonight here. So I will put a link in the description to the merch store. Once again, if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to put some of the merch. You can see it here on the screen. Once again, I will be throwing in some new stuff as well. There's going to be some new stuff coming out. Probably at some point I'll be mixing up the designs based on what I see people want or don't want. So we're just going to try it and see, and once I get my hands on some of the merch myself, maybe I will change some things if I don't like how they look. So maybe subscribe if you're new to my channel. And thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.